Welcome to the Healthcare Provider Happy Hour. This is a safe space where we invite healthcare providers to unapologetically be themselves after the working day. My name is Jennifer George, and each week I will connect you with guests and stories that will help transform your stress to success and fulfillment. Are you with me? Grab your drink of choice and let's chat. Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthcare Provider Happy Hour. I'm your host, Jennifer George, and I'm joining you today to chat with you a little bit about burnout management and prevention and how it pertains to the workplace. I was recently reflecting on this, and I don't know about you, but when I've thought about burnout management and prevention and everything I've been chatting about even on here, a lot of times I feel like burnout management and prevention lies solely on the shoulders of healthcare providers to manage outside of work. So, for example, your self care, right? That's a big thing that we talk about on this podcast. And I've talked about on Instagram quite a bit. And one thing I think we don't talk enough about is how burnout management and prevention is also integrative. In other words, where can we integrate it in our workplace practices every single day? You know, I come from the philosophy of patient care through an empowerment model, and I believe that the same is true for healthcare provider well-being. In other words, if an empowerment model exists in the workplace where frontline staff, healthcare providers, whether you're an employee, think about this, whether you're an organization to think about this, whether you're a student to think about this, whether or not you are involved as a healthcare provider in the greater vision of the workplace. If you are involved in the organizational practices and policies, do you have a voice? And if you have a voice, is it being heard? That type of empowerment model has actually been found to negatively reduce burnout. And there has been some research on that in Canada and in China among nurses, that when frontline staff are a part of the structural model in the workplace, it actually minimizes emotional exhaustion. And I would go so far as to say that if it minimizes emotional exhaustion, it likely will minimize depersonalization as well and minimize a lack of personal efficacy, because then you'll start to feel like your voice has meaning, that your work has impact. And that is what an empowerment model is. It's autonomous, but it's also inclusive. And it's the feeling like your voice is not only there, but it's also being heard, it's being understood, and it's an open dialogue about burnout management and prevention practices in the workplace. Where could we improve efficiencies, perhaps? Where could we improve morale? Where can we improve patient care such that healthcare providers don't feel like they're overinvesting more than they need to, still feel like they have an impact, and are not worn out by the end of each and every day? I sometimes struggle with the sensationalization of healthcare providers being superheroes. I struggle with it because I think mentally it can hold us to a standard that really doesn't exist, right? We are just human beings and we are not superhumans. And like any other person, we too have a threshold. And the more we suppress that and we just keep plowing through, eventually burnout's going to hit us like a brick, or it's going to show up in other ways in our lives, in our personal or professional lives. And we need to start paying attention now. And that requires a collective effort. I really believe the healthcare system, when it was designed, was never designed for the provider's well-being. It just wasn't. And I get it. It was designed around the patient, right? Which I understand. However, if this pandemic has taught us anything, it's that healthcare provider well-being right now and even post-pandemic is going to be even more important than ever. So I implore you, if you're listening to this podcast, I implore you to take a moment and reflect on your management and prevention practices. And are they happening and are they integrative within your workplace? Is there an open dialogue happening there? Do you feel included? Do you feel like you're a part of the bigger picture and the greater vision for what you want to hold, right? The standard of excellence that you are trying to achieve. Do you feel like you're a part of that while also being a part of the conversation about how we could preserve the energy and well-being of providers on the front line? I'd love to keep this conversation going with you. If you'd like to let me know, reach out to me on Instagram. My handle's at bestobsessedwithjen. You can also check out my website, jennifergeorge.co. Contact me through there. Just so you do know, as I've mentioned in previous podcasts, I am also offering customized communication and provider well-being training and education to healthcare teams, to individuals if they prefer one-on-one, and students or classes. So simply reach out to me through there and we will talk more about what it is that your space needs, and we will work together on providing something great. So let me know. And as usual, until we chat next time, remember to stay well and stay happy. So if you guys like this podcast, please subscribe and leave an honest review. Your feedback means everything to me. Your reviews are what moves this podcast forward, and I always appreciate receiving them. If you want to get a hold of me directly, reach out to me on social media. My handles are in the show notes. And you can always subscribe to my weekly newsletters at jennifergeorge.co so that we can stay connected. So until next time, thank you guys so much again for your ongoing support.